Here's why. When it comes to GALA, I'm thinking about three different price scenarios. Even though nothing I say is financial advice, keep in mind these are all hypothetical scenarios, and again, this is just what I'm thinking about. And this is even considering maybe there's even, let's say, a fully fledged type of hypothetical altcoin season during this cycle, but only time will tell. But even besides that, the first price scenario that I do have on my mind when it comes to GALA is 20 cents. Now, that's around 11x from here, and the market cap at that point would be around 9 billion if we were to consider, let's say, the current circulating supply of GALA. Now, why wouldn't this necessarily surprise me? It's because I like the fundamentals when it comes to GALA. Now, most notably, when I think about GALA, I usually think about GALA music, GALA games, and as well as GALA film. However, to me, I think the main point that I usually think about, and a lot of my friends also focus on this, right, is GALA games when it comes to GALA. So this is the one I want to discuss first. Now, sometimes people like to say, oh, but blockchain gaming really is arguably not that good as of right now. I totally understand that argument because even me, when I see a lot of blockchain games out there, I don't think they're really that good. A lot of them, right? I'm not saying every single one, but I just feel like sometimes it just doesn't feel fun to play. I feel like the gameplay is just overall just isn't that polished yet. However, to me, I don't mind this though because I feel like I want to believe in a market, or should I say a specific sector, before it really has everything kind of good to go, so to speak, right? I want to be there when it's kind of on the rise, hypothetically. Now, when it comes to blockchain gaming, people like to say, oh yeah, but it's not at the beginning. I totally understand that. I mean, it is pretty popular, but I feel like it hasn't really become truly mainstream yet, which is why I still want to believe in it as of right now. But again, this is just how I feel about it. However, when I take a look at, for instance, the blockchain gaming market, it is expected to be worth over $300 billion by 2030, according to Grandview Research. Now, only time will tell whether or not that will ever happen, but I do like that, and I feel like GALA Games, usually when I think about blockchain gaming, it's one of the top projects that I think about. Like, of course, I also think about other projects like Beam, for instance. I think about something like Engine, and again, something like GALA and some others, but again, it's one of the ones that I still think about even as of right now, so I like its sort of positioning in the market, and I do like that aspect when it comes to GALA. Now, when it comes to GALA film, it maybe doesn't have that much attention when compared to GALA games, for instance, but I still kind of like it nonetheless because when it comes to GALA film, let's just say we talk about kind of, I would arguably say, the market that it's focused on, right? If we take a look at the global movies and entertainment market size, it is predicted to reach over $160 billion by 2030, according to Zion Market Research. So I find that pretty cool. Also, on top of that, when it comes to GALA music, if we just take a look at, let's say, for instance, the music streaming market size, it is expected to be worth over $100 billion, according to Grandview Research, by 2030. So when it comes to GALA overall, I like the vibe. And also, when it comes to GALA Chain, I also think that is a pretty cool addition as well when it comes to GALA. So overall, I think GALA has, a lot of sort of sectors that it's kind of focused on, right? Not too many, but I do like it. I think as a project, I like its, again, different approach, where we see a lot of other projects out there, they only want to focus on one market. We see something like GALA kind of diversify itself a little bit and be focused on other markets too, and I do like seeing that. And when I consider the community when it comes to GALA, when I consider kind of the popularity that it has, maybe at the price of 20 cents, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me in an event where, let's say, there is a fully fledged type of altcoin season, but only time will tell. Now, the second hypothetical price scenario that I do want to explore is maybe the idea of 23 cents, which is nearly a 13x from here, and the market cap at that point, if we were to consider the current circulating supply, it's going to be around 10.5 billion. Now, when I take a look at this market cap, it's not something that would necessarily surprise me too much because something like Shiba Inu, for instance, right, reached a market cap of around 40 billion back in 2021. And that was years ago. And granted, GALA, back in 2021, it's not like the market cap was anywhere close to that, but I feel like when I consider kind of the improvements GALA made fundamentally, when I take a look at something like GALA Chain, and when I just take a look at, again, how GALA games, it's still kind of popular, just this market cap wouldn't really surprise me. And this is just my perspective though, but again, around 10.5 billion, it just really wouldn't surprise me. Again, that's just the way I take a look at it, but only time will tell. However, when I take a look at the final price scenario when it comes to GALA that I do want to explore, that is maybe the idea of 25 cents. Nearly a 14x from here, and the market cap at that point, considering current circulating supply, would be around 11.5 billion. Now, when it comes to this, the reason why I'm more excited currently right now than, when compared to, let's say, back in 2021 is because even though arguably I think this cycle we haven't really seen a fully fledged type of altcoin season yet, if we do ever see one, if it looked better than back then, it wouldn't surprise me because when I take a look at the peak of the 2021 bull run, around 300 million crypto owners, supposedly right now we have over 600 million, which is supposedly more than ever before in history. So that is a pretty impressive figure. And also on top of that, I take a look at the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, and just kind of the tension that it has. So to me, if let's say there was a fully fledged altcoin season, maybe the idea of 25 cents it wouldn't really surprise me. Again, that's just my thought on this, right? But even besides that, when I take a look at the timeline, people like to say, oh, when is this going to happen and whatnot? To me, I will not be able to know the exact moment in time. All I can do is just prepare for a moment in time in which it maybe even happens. This is the way to take a look at it. Like, to me, it's all about preparation, so I'm just dollar cost averaging, holding, and just waiting. Literally, that's it. Again, whatever is going to happen to, let's say, GALA next week, in the next 2 weeks, the next 3 weeks, like the perfect moment it does this or does that, again, that's beyond what I, can know when it comes to GALA, right? But if, let's say, hypothetically, if GALA ever decides to wake up, or just let's say this altcoin space in general, like be it next month in December, or let's say in January of next year, or in February or March, or something like that in 2026, right? Again, it's going to be beyond my control. All I can do is just prepare for a moment in which it does something, right? If I'm just holding, I'm just dollar cost averaging, I'm just waiting, if it does something, then hypothetically, I'll kind of be there maybe to catch the ride, but I'm not telling anyone to do anything when it comes to GALA. This is just what I'm doing personally. And this is, again, even just maybe assuming GALA does something, or let's just say this altcoin space in general, but this is my outlook. Now, some people like to say, well, why don't you pull up a price chart and do this and do that? Well, the way to take a look at it is this. If I pulled up a price chart, drew some random triangle, let's say I drew like a falling wedge pattern or something like that, do you think the market's going to care? Would I have to draw on that price chart? No. I don't think so, right? It's not going to care at all, actually. So, what's that going to do? To me, that's just not my style, again, right? Why would I do that? At that point, I'm just drawing. So I'd rather focus on the fundamentals, I'd rather just stay patient, and that's literally about it. But again, I'm not telling you to do anything when it comes to GALA, but I'm still looking forward to maybe what it could do, but only time will tell. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate it. It's only the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.